All right, we could be off here at about 11:30. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
We'll make this one fast. It's fun.
Everyone's going to actually like this one. It was a good idea, John.
Thank you. Actually, it was Jennifer's idea.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, my God. So Jennifer does all the work at the shop and has the best ideas.
Hello again, and welcome everyone to another episode of Five Idiots Talking Toys, where five idiots talk toys. This week we have an interesting topic I think everybody will relate to, or if you have questions about collecting or anything like that, hopefully we can answer them. This week's topic, we're going to be talking about Brandon belching at the intro.
That wasn't me.
And then we're going to talk about collecting 101. We're going to give a little tutorial about collecting. And so, hey guys, how's it going? We got Brandon, we got Charles, we got Chris.
I love how I get blamed for belching.
I know it's not me. I'm usually the one's blamed for that, but I was on screen.
Who's the fifth guy we have on today?
Oh yeah, we don't. Are we four idiots talking toys now?
It was the guy that was belching.
Oh, okay. It's the guy's belching, yeah. No, it's just us. We're Shane.
Shane,
he's not on the show anymore.
Yeah, he's done.
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't get the memo.
We've been meaning to tell you guys that Shane quit the show.
Oh.
He's done. Dunzo. Couldn't handle it anymore.
Oh.
He's working with Brendan Fraser in his next movie.
Did you see the photo of Brendan Fraser? It was ridiculous.
John's gonna post that one up.
What's the movie? The 600-pound man or something?
No, the whale.
The whale.
The whale.
What a job, though. I have to get fat for this movie. Let me just eat everything in sight.
Well, not only did he gain a bunch of weight, we're getting a little off topic here, but not only did he gain a bunch of weight, but he also has a lot of prosthetics in that film, too, to make him look even larger.
He looks ridiculous normally.
Post a picture of him next to Buff Bagwell, and we'll see the difference.
I would like to make a point that Charles likes to complain that we always go off topic, but it's usually him that brings us off topic every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
This is my first showing in about 3 weeks, so I'm still getting back into it.
Okay. Getting your Seattle sea legs back in.
What is tonight's topic?
Tonight's topic is collecting 101.
Tonight's topic is
collecting 101. We're going to talk about collecting, all aspects of collecting. I mean, some people don't understand our kind. So we'll talk about how do we get into it and all that sort of thing.
So what do you call a person who loves to collect things?
a hoarder.
A collector.
Correct answer according to Google.
A loser.
Hoarder. Huh. Hoarder. Someone with a tendency to save everything, accumulating more and more is the definition of a hoarder.
The definition of a hoarder. I guess we're hoarders.
In some respect, but a collector is defined as someone that collects objects or someone who gathers things, typically when scattered or widespread. So when scattered or widespread, I think it would be a more defining factor of our hobby and why we collecting action figures that are scattered or widespread, no longer in the stores. They might be in comic book shops, toy shops, grandma's attic. So they're a little more widespread than they were when you used to go to Kmart, Walmart, Target, Toys R Us, KV, all the other stores. So,
so what do you say to someone who is like, you know what, I think I want to start collecting something? Is that something that someone just says, or is that just kind of like some kind of genetic trait that's been passed down?
I think for me and Charles, definitely it's a genetic trait for us. My dad's a huge baseball card collector, huge coin collector. I know me and Charles have been collecting our whole life, whether it was Star Wars, baseball cards, or something else. Like we've always been collecting something, and I collect sneakers too, so I'm always collecting something. But I think for some people, stuff that happens in their life maybe will bring them to collecting. A passing of someone in their family, a pandemic, stuff like that can bring people to collect also.
Or stressful situations. It's kind of like an out for people to, a hobby to go and search for certain things to take them away from
reality
bad situations that they might be in. Reality.
Yeah.
When you're in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, sometimes life sucks. So you look back at when you were 5 or 10 and what you were doing, back then. And that's probably what most of us do, is we look back at, what we used to open up for Christmas and for our birthdays and what we used to collect. And we want to go back in time, and I guess we want to be 5 years old again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a genetic trait. My dad, same thing. My dad would collect stamps and coins back when he was a kid, and then that turned into sports cards, comics, then the toys, and then he realized he didn't want any of that crap anymore, so he got rid of it all. But I got the same disease that he had.
Yeah.
I was going to say, my dad, when we moved them out of their house and into their apartment, they got into, they couldn't really keep the house up anymore. They were getting too old, so we moved them into an apartment and everything. And we had to clean out their basement, and good Lord, there was so much stuff. And I still have boxes. I'm talking about boxes like this wide and this tall, just full of expired license plates that Dad collected over the years.
People collect that, though.
States.
Yeah, people collect that.
Yeah.
Illegal.
States and everything.
Illegal.
Can you still make birdhouses out of them?
No.
Okay. I'll tell my dad then. No. But yeah, he was a collector. My granddad, his dad collected stuff too. Coins was a big thing that he did. He collected coins. He had a refrigerator in his bedroom that was full of coins, and I was like, Papa, why do you, I know, Papa, welcome. I said, Papa, why do you have all these coins in your refrigerator? And he said, somebody comes into the house to try to steal something, they ain't going to look in the refrigerator to steal something.
John, our father has multiple refrigerators, and
that's funny you say this.
And he puts his collection in refrigerators. The only difference is, when you want to lock a monster within a room and you put 1,000 chains over the door. Well, that's what the refrigerator looks like. If you see this refrigerator, obviously there's something in there because there's a million chains going around it.
Yeah, so my dad would have the refrigerators in the basement, and he would put chains around it and locked it up. That was, as a kid growing up, and even as we got older. Now that we're out of the house, he actually has safety deposit boxes in all the banks and leaves all of his really high-end stuff in there. But he still uses the refrigerator with all the drawers and the shelves with baseball cards all lined up everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Are the refrigerators plugged in?
No.
No.
Oh man, but yeah, and so I mean, I don't know if it's a thing where somebody says, I think I'm going to get into collecting. I don't think that's a thing. I think it just starts, don't you?
Looking back, my mom is actually a collector too. Our mom collected precious moments growing up. She always collected something, so it's like almost in all of us.
Yeah.
Where do you start though? Someone's new and they're like, hey, I want to start to collect vintage Star Wars. Where do you start?
Oof.
I think for,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say you start with what your first memory is of a kid, whether it was a mock, a loose figure. You start with whatever memory is fresh in your mind. For me, it was baggies. So You know, even though it wasn't the first thing that I bought, you know, but baggies are the one thing that sticks in my mind, which is why I collect them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for me. It's loose figures because I had a couple of the vintage loose ones from a hand me down from my brother. So that's why I started was with the loose figures.
Mm-hmm. How old is your brother, Brandon?
10 years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that puts
So he's 60.
So yeah.
Close. But I started collecting from those figures. I saw that I was like, wait, I need to get I need to re-buy those because I don't have those figures. I do have them still, but they're put away. So I bought some other ones, and then I was like, well, I need to get the full line, you know.
Yeah.
And then it became. See, I went the opposite direction of I didn't have a focus. I didn't do a budget. I just started buying all sorts of stuff.
That's the worst.
Yeah. So, and we'll get into that later, but I am what we shouldn't have done. So that's my example. But, you know, mine started with loose collecting. Other people might think that they want to start with mocks or with baggies or with, beater figures or whatever. I mean, you could start with whatever you want, but you have to start collecting what you're interested in. And like, if you have a focus figure or somebody that stands out to you from the movies that, or a certain actor, like if you like Mark Hamill and you want to collect Luke, or if you like a certain character like Squidhead and you want to collect Squidhead, that's like a good starting point, I would think.
So basically what Brandon is trying to say is that when you're about to go into a pool and the water is cold, don't jump in and do a cannonball like Brandon did. Kind of dip your toes in first just to feel the water out and see how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's another symptom of a collector, maybe a hoarder too, is like, oh, wait, there's 96 of these. Now I have 2. And then now I need all of them. So
I'm a completionist when I collect. That's my problem. So that's why, like, John Ruler, the action figure grader, he doesn't have a full set of runner figures. He doesn't have like last 17. He just collects what he likes. And that's fine. That works for him. But for me, I'm a completionist. I need to have the full run. I wanted to have the full run. Yeah. And that's why when I started getting into mocks a couple of years ago, after I sold everything off, I was like, oh my God, there's so many mocks. I need to get the whole thing. And I was like, I'm not buying the whole entire thing, which is why I was selling them back off this past week.
Yeah.
And that goes to budget where it doesn't make sense to get the whole, because I'm the same way. I want to get the whole set of loose figures, right? And I also want to do a full set of mocks, but budget wise, that doesn't make sense because some of those mocks are 12 to 15,000 depending on the figure.
Mock should be like your last thing, and then when you're at your last thing, stay away from mocks anyway. Huge waste of money. They really are. You spend like $5,000 on this R2D2 12 back thing, looks so nice, and all of a sudden, small crack appears on the bottom of the blister. All of a sudden, not $5,000 anymore. $2,000, and then the crack gets bigger, and R2's little left white foot comes through the bottom of the blister. All of a sudden, not $2,000 anymore, $500. Over the years, the R2 gets sold from seller to seller. Then little R2, both legs are through the blister. It's coming out. R2 now sells for $200. Because he's white and mint.
For sale next week, Rogue 5 on R2 12-back.
$200. You heard it right here.
It's a huge risk that I just won't take. I won't take the risk.
Only happens at Charles's house.
Yeah, I
at everyone's house. Look at all these people selling these mocks that have a crack in it. They're all over the place.
Yeah, I was going to try to get like a beater mock collection.
That I would do. I would do a beater mock collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I just kind of gave up on that too. So
Yeah, but some of the beater mocks are super expensive too. So I mean,
yeah.
You need to.
The Scotch tape they used on all the vehicles and everything. Obviously, that's yellowing and that's coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not on all of them, but on a lot of them, the tape comes up. One day, the glue. No one made this glue, so it lasts 100 years. At some point, the glue is not going to hold anymore.
Yeah.
Who knows when it's going to be? But
I think technically,
Luke Bestman with the hallway scene right behind Chris's left shoulder there.
That one's gone.
It's graded, but one day Luke's going to be standing on the top of that acrylic.
That's what I mean.
Well, I think technically speaking, it's not glue behind a blister, right?
It's some sort of.
It's like a heat
mechanical
heat
seal.
Yeah,
they press on there. It's kind of like a
everything was
iron.
Yeah, everything was press sealed with heat in the plastic, so it's not technically glue.
So in 1970 something in Hong Kong, someone put this blister on. We're not talking California, New Jersey, New York, or Georgia. This is Hong Kong or Taiwan. Someone put this blister on, and you expect this thing to just hold forever. It's just going to hold forever.
Can we get back to topic, please?
Okay, so
this is the topic. This is the topic. Stay away from mocks. Don't waste your money.
How about you just collect what you're interested in? Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's the big thing.
Keep a budget, keep a focus, collect what you're interested in.
Everyone.
Now, where would we find these things?
On Rogue 5 Toys.
One and only. That's it.
That's the only place you can find. You can find Funko Pops. You can find vintage Star Wars.
Iron Maiden figures. Iron Maiden
figures. T-shirts.
People.
I wouldn't say stay away from eBay, but just be like cautious around eBay because there's so many sellers from who knows where selling stuff. Some stuff is good and some is crap. Got to watch out.
Here's
mainly on the groups, these groups that we have, that we're a part of on Facebook. Those are typically, safer havens to buy from. No pun intended with that last name there. But they are a safer place to buy from when you're looking for some of these collectibles. So I would trust those groups a little bit more because as soon as something is posted, there's 100 people looking at it, and they're there to comment about it and if it's real or fake.
This is true.
The Peanut Gallery will jump in and they will say that's fake, that's repro, or that's got a problem, or that's this and that's that, or that's the wrong variation or whatever. So, I mean, it's good. There's good things about that because they'll sit there and they'll tell you that, it's real or it's fake. So those are... I would buy off the Facebook groups. Just like Charles is saying, eBay, it's a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get out of there. Mercari, same thing. Local buys, I've seen a lot of toy stores, vintage toy stores selling repro stuff. So there's certain options that you can, go to a comic book shop, toy shop, flea market, swap meet.
Yeah, and if you're ever in the Chattanooga area, there's a new shop opening up in October called The Ball.
John, we haven't spoke about how much you have to pay us every time you advertise this on our show.
I've already paid my dues with sweat equity.
So
in Chattanooga, if you're ever in the Chattanooga area, there's a shop called The Vault. It's opening up in October. They do not sell repro unless you want them to.
So have a focus and follow through with your focus and try not to, start a loose collection and then you buy a mock and then you get a vehicle. Just, stick with one thing, have a focus, and 100% have a budget because Star Wars gets expensive.
Yeah, it gets expensive.
just find one of the areas that you like, whether it's loose graded, loose figures, whether it's mocks, graded mocks, baggies, whatever it is. Stick to that focus. Don't jump in, because you see a lot of people jump in, splash a lot of money around, and then they sell after 3 or 4 months because they're bored and they want to start a new one. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there was a guy who wanted to do a graded run, loose graded run, 85 and over. He was doing this for about 3 or 4 months. Then he sold all of them to me. Then he wanted to do Power of the Force mocks. That was his new thing. I want Power of the Force mocks. Started collecting all Power of the Force mocks.
79 of them, right?
For the I don't think there's 79 of them, but for the last month, they've all been for sale. Now he's doing tri-logos. So tri-logos now is a new thing. And then I think that lasted for about 2 days, and now he's doing loose figures. So don't jump in. Take your time. Be patient. You know, your minds do change over time. You know, your focus will change over time sometimes. So,
and
yeah, it definitely will.
Just because someone lists something on one of these Facebook groups and they want $100 for a certain thing, it doesn't mean that it's worth $100. So you have to watch and learn some of the prices. I mean, you know, we all, you know, watch and learn, and we buy and we sell, but, you know, we still, you know, need someone else to help us every now and again. So I'll message my brother. I'll message the guys. I messaged Chris this morning. I asked him, you know, for a few prices for a few things. I think it's been 12 hours. He hasn't answered me yet. Not a big deal, but at a certain point, he's going to answer me, and I'll know what I should be paying for it. So,
yeah, I think it's best to have like to have a group like us. I mean, we're fortunate that we've talked every day for almost 2 years now. Every day about something.
Every day.
Collecting, and it's every day. About collecting, giving each other crap, whatever. But it's almost like an accountability group with us where, you know, hey, I saw this for this. Is that a good price? That's an advantage that we have. And if you can find some people that are like that, find a little group of people to bounce prices off each other and stuff like that, that's probably a good way to keep from going down the rabbit hole of buying everything all the time, which is like what we've seen with several buyers and sellers. And we've all done it. I've done it. I know you guys have done it.
When you need someone, you message Brandon. I'll buy something, and he takes the biggest diarrhea he can on most things I buy.
No matter what it is,
he will find something wrong with it. And I'm not saying he's wrong either. I'm just saying that he will find that thing wrong with it.
Unless it's a Gamiax.
Yeah.
Shane will get that one. Sorry.
No, he won't.
So
too many inside jokes on the episode.
Here's a question for you guys. Where do you guys go to find collections, or where do you guys look? Do you guys do anything else besides online? Do you guys go out?
I go to swap meets, flea markets, same thing.
That sounds like so erotic.
Shops.
Swap meets.
I go to vintage toy shops. I go to conventions.
Convention.
This will actually save us time. What don't you go to? We know you go to Wendy's.
I have to.
Usually I don't go to antique stores. Antique stores to me are kind of a waste of time.
I have to admit something, Brandon. You texted us a picture of Wendy's, and within 1 hour, I was at Wendy's.
Did you get a $5 biggie bag?
I got the spicy chicken meal because I love that meal. And when I saw the picture and I kept on looking at it, I got so mad. He made me want to eat it.
Oh, we have that short on YouTube.
Yeah. So it's not really an inside joke.
No.
It's available for everyone.
Correct.
So,
But yeah, I mean, like
shop for it.
Do what?
Go shopping for. So,
yeah.
One piece of advice I have is don't settle for the first thing you see. There's certain items out there that are in the millions, such as most of these loose figures. So don't feel like you need to jump on the first one you see. There's other shops, there's other places that have them at a better price and a better, condition, which is something that I run into all the time. Is I'm trying to buy figures that are in a better condition, so I like to buy everything in person. So
don't fall for it's rare.
Yeah.
They're not rare.
Nothing is rare.
No.
Rare.
Holy grail.
Not rare.
So how far down the rabbit hole do we go? I know Chris showed us a win of a Polish bootleg Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
I think
I want to say I am the only one that does not go down rabbit holes. I only have loose graded and very little stuff.
Do you do variations? Do you do red bar variations?
Oh, well.
I have 6 red bars. That's it.
Do you have any normal R5s?
Yeah.
Well,
you're a variant collector.
I finished my loose run. I'm done. I've been done for years. So then I started to do variants. Now I'm doing like PvPs and Lily Letties because I'm bored. What else am I going to do? Of course I need a hobby to still collect. It keeps me busy. It keeps me going. It keeps me interested. Like, I love it.
Funko Pops.
Funko Pops.
Actually, I actually lied because I started the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and I collected most of the start of the line, but I don't have one of the things because they're all being graded, the whole entire thing. And then I started Indiana Jones, and now they're all being graded. So, you may want to take that part out, John.
Which part? The part about you not doing variants, not doing only Star Wars?
98% of the things I say, you could probably remove it.
Yeah.
Leave it in. That's a different. I mean, that has that's a different toy line, so it's fine.
Yeah, that was you reaching your goals of the current focus, and then now you're branching off because you got bored and you wanted to collect something else.
So, you'll never see me have highlighters, USBs.
Me neither.
Like a mixing bowl, the cooker's hat, whatever else they have. I won't do any of that stuff.
Aprons.
Now, see, that's another thing where you've used kind of like a checks and balances thing for your personal rabbit hole with the turtles. You said you're going to collect the first 12, and that's it.
Yeah. It was first 20. I think,
First 20. Yeah. Have you bought any outside that first 20?
Yeah, no.
So that's something you have to do. You have to set goals. Like I did, I went down a rabbit hole of B-Wing pilots for a while, and that was my focus. And I bought every time there was a B-Wing pilot for sale, I bought it. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But now I'm like, why did I do that? I've got 100 B-Wing pilots, and but they look pretty cool on the shelf, to be honest with you. But
one day, you should do a video of that shelf.
I should do that if I'm ever home again.
Can you sell me a blaster for $45?
You need a blaster? I'll sell you a blaster.
But yeah,
I mean, if as far as part of setting goals is like Charles did with the turtles, is like, okay, here's what I'm going to do, and you have to make a conscious effort to say, I'm stopping at 20. Otherwise, you're going to,
the people that don't have an actual focus, they're the ones that get lost. They spend so much money, and sometimes they kind of quit the hobby fast because they're buying loose graded, they're buying mocks, they're buying baggies, they're buying mailers, there's so many different areas to go down. And if you don't start and stick with something particular, you just go off in every venture, and you're spending so much money. And I would say most of the people that collect don't have millions and millions of dollars to afford all this stuff. And that's pretty much, and that's what you need if you really wanted to collect it all.
If you want to collect everything.
Yeah. That's why you have to literally pick a certain focus and you have to stick to it. I veered off. I was doing loose grading for about 9 years. I veered off last year. I got back into mocks. I swore mocks off. I wasn't going to get back into it. I'm buying mocks left and right. All these mocks of 48 backs and 65 backs and all this stuff. And then I'm like, why? Like, I stick with my 31 debut. I stick with my 41A, and I got rid of every single mock. Every single mock gone. Yeah. Gone. I had to. Because it
you
just
threw them away?
I threw them away. Because it just keeps going. There's no end. And I don't have room for it. You know, you're spending so much money and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And for me, I'm a completionist. I need a light at the end of the tunnel. I just do.
Yeah. And some of these collections that I've seen, oh my gosh. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. And
it becomes to a point where there's no end to these things. So that's that's the point of the story is you collect a full loose run, then you want mocks, then you want variations. Well, there's so many variations of everything. Like, where does it stop? And honestly, there's pieces that people need that they'll never have because they're that rare, or there's only one or two of, and then you go into prototypes or what, and where does it stop? So I think you need to set yourself a goal, like everybody's saying here, and say, okay, I'm going to get the first 12 on card back, 12 backs is what I want to do, right?
And do just 12 backs. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll focus on getting the first 12 on 12 back cards and call it good after that. But no, there's some other figures that I like that I like the card art on the min-on card, so I'll go ahead and buy those as well. But you have to have a limit, and with collecting Star Wars, it's very hard because there's that many variations of everything.
Mm-hmm. And you don't want to be like John Rula, the action figure grader, where he went from collecting vintage to modern to comics to now the newest thing, Star Wars trading cards. I'm talking to John the other day on the phone. I go, John, what are you doing? I'm on YouTube learning how to grade cards. I said, John, I don't think we can be friends anymore. I'm like, if you're buying trading cards of Mandalorian Gem Mint 10s, I don't know what to talk to you about anymore.
Yeah. He started out collecting G.I. Joes, right?
Yes. So he started out collecting G.I. Joe. He always loved Star Wars and stuff like that, but he did start off with G.I. Joe, and then I believe he sold them all off, and then he got into Star Wars. Yeah. But like him, he doesn't really have a focus. There's not really a focus. He's just kind of all over the place.
He's a grader, though. He wants to grade. He wants to grade some kind of line.
He loves grading. So at least for me and him, our friendship consists of me every day texting him, telling him, I'm glad I'm not like you.
He has to change his name then, because if he's the action figure grader, he then switched to comics, which has nothing to do with action figures, and then now he's on trading cards.
He's the action figure hater.
He's the grader. You just started calling him the grader.
The grader.
Maybe that. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I feel bad for his wife.
He has the space, and he has a nice setup and a nice room that he's able to collect and definitely display more than the average person.
Yeah.
Like, at least me, I got 2 cabinets and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, my collection isn't that big. I mean, I just have the loose run and all those B-Wings. And
you actually have a loose run?
Yeah. Well, I'm missing a few of the last 17, actually.
Okay.
But I have a loose run, and I have a bunch of play sets and stuff set up, and
that'd be a really good video, because most people don't know what you have, they don't know what Shane has, and they don't know what Brandon has.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of other stuff.
Looking at Brandon, it's someone swallowed up Star Wars and threw it up. He has a box. He has a poster. He has a cardboard cutout. This just all just random stuff. Do you have a USB in there? Is there a USB? Show us the USB.
We make fun of Shane, honestly, and I think I think Brandon is actually way worse than anyone.
Oh, wait.
Not
There it
USB.
is. No, that's a flash card.
That's an SD card.
Brandon actually has 2 houses full of stuff.
That was true.
Correct.
So don't be like us when it comes to collecting. Guys, anything else on this topic? I mean, I think we shared a lot of tips.
Stay on budget.
Stay on budget.
And just
Patient.
yeah, and follow your focus, whatever you're focusing on.
Yeah. Definitely have a plan. And I see that you only have 2 Cassian Andors back there. Did you sell a bunch of them?
I actually gave them away to 2 young children that came over my house that love Star Wars. I gave them one. Yeah.
Nice.
Are you going to charge them $8 down the road, or?
Nope.
You already shook their
One
parents
day-
down for
One
$100.
day they may log into Rogue 5 Toys and make a purchase. So
Yeah.
it was
Or
more
sell their Cassian. See if they can
See?
As long
sell
as they
you
subscribe.
the Cassian Andor back.
So Charles had the fishing pole, and he put the Andor on the end, and he just snagged 2 fish to go shopping on our page.
Yeah, there you go.
Good move, Charles.
Good bait. Good bait. All right, guys. Well, if that's it, I think that was a good episode. A lot of good information. And so, yes, have a plan. Stay within budget. Make sure that you have a focus, and that word is important to understand.
It's very important. Very, very, very important.
Yeah. Or you're going to start spending a lot of money. And that's in anything, too, you know, whether you're collecting silver dollars or if you're collecting Mego figures or whatever.
Funko Pops
Funko Pops.
for sale.
Look, there's a Chewbacca Furby right there. But yeah. So anyway, guys, subscribe to our channel, like this video, and hit the bell icon to be notified of content. Where did Brandon go? That was weird.
Brandon lost focus. That's why.
Brandon lost focus. Hit the bell icon to be notified of new content. We've got stuff coming up every week. We finally gave away the Razor Crest. But please subscribe, share us around. Make sure that other people subscribe. We want to just keep growing. And guys, I guess that's it. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good. See you next week.
Yep. Thank you, everyone. If you think we missed anything, just make sure you leave a comment and let us know what you think.
Wait, here he's back. Should we add him to the stream?
I'll leave him out.
What happened?
I don't know.
Okay. We're just saying our goodbyes. You want to say goodbye?
Bill.
Oh, you didn't say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.